First of all, I would like to congratulate PLANETech for having this event today. Looks amazing, well done. I know how difficult it was to organize it during wartime. So today we talk about climate tech. So I will borrow something from the weather space, climate space, which is a storm. As you know, the Israeli high-tech is in a perfect storm since mid-2022. Since that time, there was a sharp decline in investments in the Israeli high-tech, but also in the global high-tech because of global macroeconomics. Since the beginning of 23, there was a very deep political debate in Israel. And since the last quarter, we are in a state of war. All of that posed a lot of challenges to the Israeli high-tech. And the question is, how did we do in 2023 despite all of these challenges? Well, surprisingly enough, or maybe not so surprising, Israeli high-tech continued to grow in 2023. Yes, absolutely. You remember the slogan, Israeli tech delivers no matter what? Well, we delivered. In 2023, for the first time, we have reached almost 20% of local GDP coming out of the tech sector and more than 50% of Israeli export. Those are amazing numbers, unparalleled in any other country in the world. Beyond that, other indicators, 6% of GDP are reinvested in research and development every year. Almost 12% of the workforce is working in the Israeli high-tech, and those 12% are paying more than 30% of income tax, so they get paid very well. But anyhow, those numbers are really unparalleled anywhere in the world, and despite all the challenges, still continue to grow. But this is, you see all the figures here are in percentage, but how do we do in absolute numbers compared to other tech hubs in the world? Well, you can see that here. We compare Israel to other tech hubs, either small countries like Israel or big metropolitan areas around the world. You see that in absolute numbers, not per capita, not percentage, in absolute numbers, the number of high-tech companies in Israel of all sorts, early stage, late stage, growth companies, large companies, multinationals, all of them together amount to more than 9,000 companies. And this is the third place in the world in absolute numbers. Amazing, right? Yeah. Out of those 9,000 companies, more than 500 are multinationals, big presence, very significant presence of all the tech multinationals in Israel, leveraging the great skills of the local ecosystem, more than 800 active investment bodies since 2022. Again, very vibrant and very active ecosystem. And still growing in 2023. What do you think was the number of new startups opened up in Israel? Noah mentioned about 50 in the climate tech. Well, it's almost 10%. 600 new startups were created in Israel during this challenging time. So all these numbers explain why Israel needs the Innovation Authority, a special government agency who is responsible for the high-tech sector, which I'm heading. Our mission is to strengthen the competitiveness of the Israeli tech hub in all ways possible. As you saw, there are many tech hubs in the world. They all compete for the same resources, basically, venture funds, entrepreneurs, workers, and so forth. Israel is ranked very high, and we want to make sure we stay there. We fulfill this mission in three different ways. One is direct investments into tech companies in all sectors, in all segments of the life of a startup or a company. We also invest in technological infrastructure, whether it's national labs, research, and talent. And we also work with our partners in the government to remove any growth barrier whether it's regulation, taxation, or anything else. All in all, we invest about $500 million every year in the local tech ecosystem, which makes us, I believe, the largest fund in the country. So all of that was very general. Now let's speak about PLANETech. This is what you came for this morning, right? So I think you all know how vibrant is this ecosystem in Israel. So, but let me take you through some numbers and information. So first of all, 12 different academic institutes which are heavily dealing with research, basic and applied research in the areas of climate tech. Heavy investments of both the private sector, $1.5 billion in 2023. Again, I think it's an amazing number and a show of confidence in this sector during this hard time of the war. $80 million investments of the Innovation Authority, 8 different incubators across the country which create ventures and grow ventures in the space of climate. And as Noam said before, at least this number is a little bit less than 800. Now it's even more than 800 companies which bring climate tech solutions to the world, either for mitigation or adaptation of global warming. So I think amazing activity and more to come. But okay, more than that, I mentioned the investments done by the private sector and by the innovation authorities. So this is an interesting graph for you to look at. You can see here the distribution of investments of both the private sector on the right hand and the innovation authority on the left between the different sectors of the Israeli high tech. You can see within the rectangles the investments in area which are related to climate tech. Very interesting numbers, because it shows that 20% of private sector investments last year went to climate tech related companies. This is a sharp increase. I looked at the numbers of 22 and 21. It was around 15%, so 25% growth in investments of the private sector. When you look upon the investments of the Innovation Authority, it's 36%. You now understand how much we believe in this sector and how much we are invested in the success of climate tech in Israel. But this is not enough. We are acting to have here more and more groundbreaking, innovative startups that really bring large-scale solution to the world. This is a map of 9 new innovation centers across the country, which are actually, some of them already have been opened, some of them are now in the process of being established. As you can see, from the north to the south, each one of them is thematically dealing with a certain subsector of climate tech in order to create more venture and connect more entrepreneurs into this exciting space of climate tech. Beyond that, we have launched in February a new fund for investments in deep tech. And yes, climate tech in most cases is deep tech. And this fund is going to be very generous in funding early stage startups in the ideation phase, pre-seed, seed, and A. I don't have enough time to go into all the details, but this is maybe the most important slide here for both entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs as well as investors, because this is going to be a fund that will change the space of deep tech in Israel in general and in climate tech in specific. Okay. But this is also not enough, and we are now in the process of a tender for new incubators, large-scale incubators for deep tech, for venture creation, venture building. Again, it's open for deep tech incubators, but if anyone here is trying to organize a group to submit to this tender in the area of climate tech, we will be very happy to receive such submissions. More opportunities, just for your information, to collaborate with the Innovation Authority and to get funding for different activities. So investments in companies, I presented the startup fund, venture creation incubators, pilot sites, and sandboxes. I know this is a very painful point. So if there is a company here who needs a pilot site in Israel and is unable to get such a pilot site, please approach us and we can help you with the relevant entities in the country. Bilateral R&D and pilots, many opportunities for funding, either in the Horizon program or other bilateral funds. This is the time to collaborate. PLANETech will not be solved by anyone by himself or by herself. It needs collaboration in the country and with other countries to really bring such solutions to the world. Applied research, R&D labs, and human capital. Again, not enough time to cover everything. So just to sum up, I think it's not a secret to the audience here that climate is becoming the most significant challenge humanity is facing. Not the only one, as we all know from reading the newspapers, but certainly one of the most significant ones. It is also a great economical opportunity for entrepreneurs, for investors to get into this space, create amazing companies and reap the economical benefits. Israeli climate tech is already vibrant, already growing, but we in the Innovation Authority are here to create the best climate for you to thrive in the local ecosystem. So good luck, everyone. Thank you.